So the next paper will be presented by Bo Zhang Hong and Xidi from National Taiwan University. So let's welcome him.
Good afternoon, I'm Cindy, and this is Bo Zhang. We're from National Taiwan University, and we're here to present our work, HeatProbe, a thermal-based power meter for accounting disaggregated electricity usage. This is the outline of our slide today, and I will begin with motivation. Saving energy is an important issue. Raising awareness of energy consumption is also an important goal of UbiComp research. However, since utility bills aggregate electricity usage, most people are unaware of the energy consumptions of each appliance they use. However, this per appliance energy consumption information is important because it allows people to know the energy cost of their activities when they are using an appliance. For instance, what is the energy cost of doing laundry? Currently, it is difficult to know per appliance energy consumption because there is only a single master power meter in the home that aggregates the power consumptions of all appliances. A way that we could get per appliance energy consumption would be to attach a power meter to each appliance. However, if there are a lot of appliances in the home, this would require a lot of installation. Is there another way that we could get per appliance energy consumption without so much installation? Therefore, I'll introduce the HeatProbe approach to monitoring per appliance energy consumption. HeatProbe uses a thermal sensing approach to track the power consumptions of each appliance. Typically, in a home, there's a master power meter that tracks the power changes when an appliance is turned on or off. However, this master power meter does not know which appliance caused the power change. Here we can see a thermal recording from the thermal camera. It is playing at 32 times its normal speed. As we can see, the background is currently blue since it is at ambient room temperature. A person comes in and turns on the electric water kettle in the bottom left corner. The surface temperature of the water kettle increases and its heat map goes from blue to red. The person then turns on the microwave in the middle of the picture. The surface temperature of the microwave increases and its heat map also turns red. The person then turns on the toaster on the top of the picture. The surface temperature of the toaster increases and its heat map also turns red. From this clip, we can get an idea of how the system does inference. HeatProbe observes the increasing and decreasing heat patterns of appliance surfaces. An increasing heat pattern indicates that the appliance is being turned on. A decreasing heat pattern indicates that the appliance is being turned off. This thermal sensing method applies to almost all appliances, since almost all appliances generate heat as a natural byproduct of operation. Next, I'll give a step-by-step overview of the HeatProbe system. The system consists of two sensors, a thermal camera, and a master power meter. From the thermal camera, we can get a series of heat maps at a rate of 30 frames per second. In the first step, heat map segmentation, we apply image processing to segment the appliance areas and person regions from the heat map. In the next step, we detect the thermal events. For each of the appliance areas computed in the first step, we calculate the average temperatures for each appliance area across heat maps. Let's take a look at appliance area number 3, for example. We plot its temperature trend in the graph. As we can see, at the 10th minute, the temperature starts to increase. We can say that the appliance is being turned on. At the 20th minute, the temperature starts to decrease. We can say that the appliance is being turned off. A thermal event occurs when there is a change in appliance surface temperature. We denote a thermal event as the time of the event, whether it is an on or off event, and the appliance area number. In the next step, we detect power events. We extract the power meter readings from the power meter. A significant increase or decrease in power amount indicates that the appliance is being turned on or off. We denote a power event as the time of the event, whether it is an on or off event, and the power consumption amount. In the last step, we match the thermal events with power events based on time proximity. Let's take a look at the first thermal event, for example. The first thermal event is the on event from appliance area number 3 that appeared at the 10th minute. We match it to the closest power event, which is the on event of 410 watts that appears at the 8th minute. After matching these two events, we can say that the on event of appliance error number 3 has a power consumption of 410 watts and that it appeared around the 8th minute. Let's take a look at the second thermal event. The second thermal event is the off event from appliance error number 3 that appeared at the 20th minute. We match it to the closest power event, which is the off event of 410 watts that appeared at the 18th minute. After matching these two event pairs, we can say that the off event of appliance error number 3 has a power consumption of 410 watts and that it appeared around the 18th minute. After we have finished matching these two event pairs, we can calculate the usage time of appliance error number 3, which is around 10 minutes at 410 watts. Next, I'll give the limitations of our system. The first limitation is that the appliances in our system must be plugged into the building circuits. This is because we use a power meter to track the power consumptions of all appliances in the home. Therefore, the system cannot track appliances that run on their own batteries. The second limitation is that the surface of appliances must be within the view of the thermal camera. We mount the thermal camera onto the building ceiling. Therefore, it cannot track appliances that are hidden under the table or behind the wall. The third limitation is that the system can only recognize appliance on-off binary states. Therefore, for appliances with multiple states, such as a lamp, our systems cannot distinguish between these different states. This is because the surface temperatures of these different states only have minor differences. Our current low-resolution thermal camera cannot distinguish between these states. Bo-Zhang will give us the design and implementation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Now I will introduce system design and implementation. In the first step, heat map segmentation, we not only want to segment out the appliance area, we also want to remove people region. To remove people region, we segment out the heat map into foreground and background. Foreground and background is separated based on the amount of temperature change. Pixels with large temperature change across frames are the foreground. Since people move around, the region people occupy and then pass by will cause significant temperature change, thus people are foreground. To remove people, we can remove foreground pixels. After removing people, the remaining region with high temperature are the running appliances. After getting appliance area, we now go on to the next step, thermal event detection. Let us focus on the 3 appliances in this example. The user first turns on the lamp, the surface temperature of the lamp starts to increase, and we plot the temperature trend to the right. The user then turns on the notebook. Our system also tracks the temperature change of the notebook. Let us look at the 3 temperature trends to the right. The green bar marks the starting time when appliance surface temperature increases. We can infer an appliance is turned on from this temperature increases. Thus, we denote a thermal event at the time marked by the green bar. The third step, power event detection. Power event detection is similar to detecting thermal event. We replay the video to explain. The user turns on the lamp, notebook, and toaster in order. When appliance is turned on, the power reading increases. These increases are marked by the blue bar in the graph, and we can infer an appliance is turned on from these blue bar time points. The final step, event matching. From event detection stage, we can get power events. A power event is matched to a thermal event that is closest to it in time proximity. The detailed matching process can be referenced in our paper. After events are matched, we can get appliance usage time and the power consumption for each appliance. We take TV, for example. The duration between power on event and power off event is the usage time, and the power consumption is the power amount consumed by the TV along the usage time. We do this for the other appliances and get the usage time and the power consumption. Now we go on to the next step, evaluation. To measure the accuracy of our system, we test in 3 scenarios with different types of appliances with 2 to 3 participants turning on and off these appliances. For example, in the first scenario, there are 9 appliances. 2 people using these appliances and generates 100 events. We measure the event detection accuracy and event time error. Event detection accuracy measures the percentage of correctly detected events over all events, which give a result of 97% accuracy and more than 94% precision. The event time error measures the difference between event ground truth time and the system detected time. For power events, the average error is around 4 seconds, whereas for thermal events, the error is 112 seconds. What causes this bigger error in thermal events than in power events? This is because it takes time after an appliance is turned on to heat up the surface temperature, whereas the power readings reflect the power changes quickly after an appliance is turned on. We also measure the usage time error. An appliance usage time error is defined as the difference between the time an appliance actually used and the system detected usage time. We plot the CDF of usage time error. The x-axis is the error in seconds, and the y-axis is the accumulative probability. 80% of appliance usage have an error less than 120 seconds. What causes this 2 minutes error? To answer the question, we measure the matching accuracy. The event matching accuracy measures how well the thermal event will correctly match to a power event. Out of 164 event pairs, 126 were correctly matched, and the matching accuracy is 77%. The 23% error contributes the error in appliance usage time detection. Finally, we measure per appliance power consumption for each of the 3 scenarios. We start from the first scenario. The blue bar stands for the ground truth power consumption, and the red bar stands for the system detected power consumption. The number below the bars are the power consumption error, or the difference between blue and red bars. 5 appliances have an error less than 15%. 2 monitors and 2 lamps have a large error more than 35%. This is due to event mismatched. For example, the 177% inaccuracy is due to event of lambda 2 mismatched to a heater event. Since 2 appliances greatly differ in power consumption, this large power consumption error occurs. This is the result of second scenario, and the error for all appliances are under 10%. The result of third scenario can be referenced in our paper, and the overall per appliance power consumption accuracy is 80.2%. Now we go on to the next step, related work. Previous research done on investigating appliance level power change was periodiscope. Periodiscope uses direct sensing. When appliance is turned on, the magnetic value changes. There is a close relation between the power change and power consumption change and the magnetic value changes. Thus, it can be used to disaggregate power usage. Okay, I skipped one slide. Okay, then there are many other works on monitoring appliance usage. We compare HeatProbe to other related works. HeatProbe uses thermal-based sensing. HeatProbe uses a per-ring single-point sensing with a thermal camera. Now I would give a conclusion finally. HeatProbe uses a thermal-based sensing to monitor per appliance power consumption. To the best of knowledge, this is the first research using electro-thermal features from appliances to check appliance usage. That is, we use surface temperature change to imply appliance on or off. Our system, HeatProbe, also achieves 80.2% accuracy for counting per appliance power consumption. This is the end of our presentation. Thank you.